Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Vena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Dinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Vishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Today we will have a small seminar or information session on chanting Hare Krishna. So this is a slideshow that is right. This is a slideshow prepared. This is a slideshow prepared by the devotees in India. So Krishna is just telling us
Jai Shri
So the Kali Santavarana Upanishad says that in this age of Kali, the only means of deliverance is by chanting the holy names of the Lord. Iti sodashakam namnam kalau kalmashanasanam nata paratara upaya sarva vedeshu drishyati. So the great acharyas have written volumes of transcendental literature on the glories of chanting of the holy name. Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur has written the Sri Harinama Chintamani. That was the precursor to the modern Hare Krishna movement after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, many 300 years after that. So after Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur established the chanting of the holy names as a deliverance means, as a means of deliverance in the age of Kali, then Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati consolidated, creating the Gaudiya Math and the infrastructure in India. And then Srila Prabhupada, as you know, took it to every corner of the globe. So this is the sum and substance of the spread of the holy name of Krishna in our modern age, in our own lifetime. Prabhupada explains that the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is the sublime method of reviving our transcendental Krishna consciousness, our transcendental consciousness. We are pure spirit, eternal part and parcel of Krishna. We are not these bodies. A natural function of the soul, that is who we are, is to be Krishna conscious. And the way to revive that original identity is by chanting of the holy name. So Prabhupada says that all living entities that we are all originally Krishna conscious entities. But due to our association with matter from time immemorial, we are all trying to be lords of material nature, while actually we are under the grips of our stringent laws. And there are several stages of consciousness. Animal stage. Animal stage doesn't mean that we are animals, but that is the stage of consciousness we are in. The four symptoms of the animal stages: ahara, nidra, bhaya, maithunamcha. Ahara is eating, nidra is sleeping, bhaya is defense or procreation, or having expanded family. That is Maithunamcha, is engaging in procreating an extended family, and Bhaya is actually fear, but actually here it is defense, like you go out to work, get money, protect yourself, have a house. That is Bhaya, out of fear that you may fail, you engage in those activities. But all animals do that, that's why it's called the animal stage. If all we are doing are these four activities principally, then that is the stage in which we are in. The next stage is the mental speculative stage, where all the great philosophers, without any sadhana or practice or in a speculative way, they are trying to delve into the nature and origin of the universe, the nature and origin of consciousness, why things are happening around us in a very specific way. And they are trying to put an explanation to it. It's either an accident, or it is a set of chance circumstances, or as the scientists say that it is nature, but they don't have the answer as to whose nature. So the mental speculative stage is where many of us are. We are not just in the animal stage, we are better than that. but we are in the mental speculative stage where we are not very sure of the subject matter of spiritual life. Then we engage our minds, our abilities that we use in lording over the material energy, to also use that mechanism to try and delve into the subject matter of the spirit. It is very natural that because we have found success in manipulating material energy, that we can do the same thing for understanding the spiritual energy. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita in chapter 7, in the beginning to Arjuna, that Bhumi apo nala vayo kam mano buddhi evacha hankara itiyam me bhinna prakriti. All the 8 energies of the material energies are my energy. The 5 material elements, along with it ahankara, false ego, mind, mana, and intelligence. So when we use our intellectual stage, we are actually engaging a subtle matter in the principle of trying to understand something that is non-matter. So Krishna then says to Arjuna, Apareyam itastanyam prakritam viddhime param jiva bhuti. There is something higher than this material energy, both gross and subtle, which you are trying to lord over. Idedam dharete jagat. But Krishna is trying to point out here that by controlling or lording over a material energy which is inferior, that he just establishes, and spirit souls as we are superior to that, how is it possible for an inferior source to give you superior information? We are superior to matter. Mind is matter. Intellect is matter. That is bhumi, apo, nala, vayo, kam. All this is gross. Mano, buddhi, evacha, ahankara, itiyame, bhinna, prakriti. So our mind, our intelligence and our false ego is also matter, except it is very subtle matter, just like software running in a computer. So to exercise those, to understand the absolute truth, understand who we are, understand God and our relationship with God, is bound for failure if it's just intellectual. As an inferior mechanism, you cannot understand a superior mechanism using that. Then the 4th stage is the transcendental stage, where we understand that we are not this body, we are pure spirit, and we are part and parcel of divine consciousness. God is in 3 forms, Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan, and we have separate relationship in each mode, depending on our material conditioning and our level of perfection or siddhi. We studied that in the 6th chapter of Dhyana Yoga, the 8-fold Raja Yoga path. So that is a transcendental stage. And in this transcendental stage of Samadhi, then Krishna says, you will come to the platform of Bhakti. And the highest perfection, the platform of Bhakti, is Prema. God ultimately is love. And we are not afraid of God, we are not respectful of God, we are not subservient to God only. All of this is coming because the ultimate Paramapada is love of God. So that transcendental stage is also consisting of many levels. We were discussing today in Bhakti Vriksha class that even in Vaikuntha, which is the natural state of all of us where we belong from, that's why Prabhupada said back to Godhead, back to Godhead. We're going back to Godhead. There are 5 stages of engagement. Those 5 stages are who was there today in the class?
Sarupya, Samipya, Sayujya,
Shrashti,
Salokya.
So we said that even in Vaikuntha planet, there are 5 different ways that you can have a transcendental relationship with the Supreme. Sayujya means merging in Brahman. When Shishupala and other demons were destroyed by Krishna, their formless energy merged into Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam explains that when Shishupala was killed, immediately he absorbed the pure spirit that was embodied in Shishupala into himself. That is Sayujya. Sarupya is looking like a four-armed Vishnu in Vaikuntha. Salokya is, of course, you are in the Vaikuntha planets doing many things. Samipya means very close to Krishna, which we were discussing, which one is most preferable. Somebody asked, I think Anupama asked. But, that's so far out for us to even understand what it is. But still we are curious, right? There are 5 options, which one do I take? So Sarupya, Samipya means directly engaging loving relationship with Krishna. So like Mother Yashoda, the cowherd boys, the gopis, the cows, like that. And the Brahma Samhita says that Ananda Chinmaya Rasat Mataya Manashu Yep Praninam Pratipalan Smaratam Upetya Leela Itene Bhuvanani Jayat Ajashram. So this Leela of Krishna happened 5,000 years ago in Vrindavan, but is going on in many parallel universes and in Goloka Vrindavan. So they are engaging like that with Samipya.
Acharya said that is the most elevated stage we need to be.
Yes. So though we did not pick an answer because we are not advanced enough, we did come up with that example this morning, like Raju Prabhu says, that when Krishna sent Uddhava was just like Krishna. Krishna saw Uddhava the last before he left. After the hunter hit the arrow, the hunter came and offered obeisances to Krishna, and Krishna said, no, this is the arrangement for all the Yadavas, including me. That is fine. And then he said, don't worry about it, you go. Take care of your family. And then he called Daruka, who is his charioteer, and told Daruka, you please go to Dwaraka. The Leela of Dwaraka is going to be finished, so take let all the people of Dwaraka know that they need to go to mainland. Because Krishna is the Lord of the universe, but when he is in his Leela, he created something for himself, Lord of Dwaraka, and then when he left, he took that also. It was not like he was king of Hastinapur or this and that is already there now.
It's full of renunciation.
Huh?
It's full of renunciation.
Full of renunciation. He doesn't have anything, he owns everything, but he's not attached to it.
But he's taking it away.
Yeah, he created something for himself. He took it.
It's like setting up the stage in a drama.
Yeah.
Once the drama is over, you dismantle the set.
Yes.
Oh.
There is no another king of
Correct,
Dwaraka.
correct, yeah.
You see? So, but after sending Daruka, then Lord Balarama goes. Then Balarama takes permission. This is in the Srimad Bhagavatam. People say Krishna was shot by an arrow and he died. They have no information. But the Srimad Bhagavatam explains how Krishna ascended. So, and nothing happened to him. He was just normal. And then Balarama leaves and Balarama disappears. That's how Bhagavatam explains. It's like we see in these movies like Maya Bazaar. And then he calls Uddhava. And then the chariot goes. His chariot with his horses, they go to Vaikuntha. And then he calls Uddhava. And he tells Uddhava this, that Uddhava, you are as good as me. And Uddhava looks like Krishna. You are as good as me, you are like me, you are me in essence. Now that I am going, you stay back, go to Badrikashrama and continue for the age of Kali. Please explain my glories to everybody. So it's literally giving the power of attorney. Why I am saying this is, when you say Sarupya, in Vaikuntha, you look like Krishna, you have the opulence of Krishna, but the biggest qualification you have for being there is that you don't think you are Krishna. Otherwise you won't be there in the first place. Because you are not thinking like that, Krishna is giving. We are not getting. Krishna is giving. So the Sarupya is being given to those exalted devotees of Lord Krishna in the Vaikuntha. So even in the Vaikuntha there are transcendental stages. And of course the highest stage is directly engaged in the loving relationship of Krishna in those 5 modes. Son, father, mother, friend, lover, gopi. What are the 5 rasas, brother? Shanta, Rasya, Vatsalya is mother, Yashoda,
Friend.
Sakya, friend, and Madhurya, which is transcendental loving relationship. That represents the kind of love, since we are part and parcel of Krishna. So, Mamevam sa jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. So, we are all part and parcel of Krishna. So, it is only natural that the Madhurya Rasa is the most advanced and the most deep and the most subtle and the most confidential. That is why in this age of Kali, Prabhupada was saying that we shouldn't go there. Because we are not equipped, we do not understand that. Or we misunderstand. But however, the highest transcendental stage in Kali has been explained by the great acharyas. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Narottam Das Thakur, and all these great acharyas have written. Kita janma moye jata udadas bahir mukha brahma janma nahi. I don't want anything. I don't want any status. I don't want moksha. I don't want this or I don't want that. You engage me in any way you want, but I want to be a servant. I want to please you. This is the highest state of transcendental life. So those are the 4 stages. We'll discuss each of them more as we go. Since I didn't put this presentation myself, I don't know how it runs and how it's controlled. And as far as the requirements for the chanting of the holy names, as Krishna recommends in the Bhagavad Gita, anyone can take part in this chanting without any previous qualification and dance in ecstasy. Now, forget about previous qualification and dancing in ecstasy. People who attend Bhakti Viksha know that my cat likes prasadam and chanting and hangs around with us. So this is something very unique in Kali Yuga, that there is no other qualification. Namna makari bahuda nija sarva shaktihi tatrarpita niyamita smarane nakala. Tatrarpita niyamita smarane nakala. There is no time, place, circumstance, qualification, status to chant the holy names immediately. And why chant the holy names in Kali Yuga? Kritaya dhayato Vishnu. In Satya Yuga, Tretayam yajato makaihi, we are doing yajna, the swaha, even now we do it. But the proportion of effectiveness on how everything happened every time, even chanting was going on in Satya Yuga, but what is the most effective for each yuga is said. Kritaya dhayato Vishnu, constantly meditating on Vishnu. Today we say meditation, but we are not really focused, as Arjuna said in the Bhagavad Gita. Tretayam yajato makhaihi dvaparyat paricharyaya. That is temple worship in Dwapara Yuga. Because your mind is slowly getting less and less sharpened, that you are now from inward, you are going external. But both internal and external is given as a recommendation in Kali. Kalautad Harikirtan. That is the only yajna that will work. Alam tirtaihi, alam rajaihi, nothing is pure. We may go through the ritualistic motions of sacrifice and the yajna, But the real yajna that will only work in Kali Yuga, as Krishna explains, and all the acharyas have explained, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has explained, and Prabhupada has transported it to the whole world to prove that the proof of the pudding in the eating, immediately it caught like wildfire. That is the potency. Whether or not you or me or you can convey this potency or not depends on our material conditioning, but it has tremendous potency in the hands of the right person, like Prabhupada. At the age of 70, with a Bengali accent, with nothing in his pocket, coming to America and starting this whole worldwide movement. You think of any acharyas anywhere in any context that you know. And the best part was he was not charismatic or doing magical things or this or nothing. He was just transporting the message of Krishna as it is. And immediately it caught fire, and pure spirit souls were seeking and waiting for this. They are truly the santas of the Kali Yuga. So the Krishna Sankirtana Yajna is the real Yajna that we perform. Everything else is Pancharatri Vidambina. We follow rules and regulations as we were reading today in our purport. Smritis, Shrutis, does anyone remember that? Shruti, Smriti, Puranadi, Pancharatri Vidambina, Ahaitukam Bhaktim. I forgot. It just says that anything that you do, engage in Krishna consciousness, but also follow rules and regulations. Bhakti Yoga is not that being flippant and loose and just walking up and down. There are rules and regulations. But we know what is the main focus of this in Kali Yuga. Therefore, here it says, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Nam Akari Bahuda. There are so many powerful names, and all of them Nijasharva Shakti. Everyone has the same, every holy name of Krishna, of the Supreme Person, is equally powerful. Tatra Arpita Niyamita Smaranena Kala. And the best part is there is no rules and regulations for this chanting of Hare Krishna. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself is talking on our behalf. Yata Trishi Tava Kripa Bhagavan Mamapi Durdaiva Idrisham Iha Na Anuraga. I am not interested. I am not interested in this simple. I am very fascinated with the material energy that Krishna just talked in the 7th chapter, 2nd. Dharayati Jagat. We are fascinated with the satellites going up. We are fascinated with this microchip or whatever, this new nanotechnology. Everything we are fascinated with. But we don't understand that the highest technology that can get us out of Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi, Dukkha, Dosha, and Darshana is the simple chanting of Hare Krishna constantly. Sadatam Kirti. And Krishna says to Arjuna, Dadami Buddhi Yogantum, I will give you the intelligence. But what is that intelligence for? Yena Mam Upayantite. He is not interested in giving you intelligence, specially sit there and give you one special check to open another $5 billion plant and do something. Fighter bombers, stealth bombers. No, he is giving Yena Mam Upayantite Dadami Buddhi. So Krishna has given everything. The acharyas have given a simple system of chanting Hare Krishna. And why chant Hare Krishna? Cheto Darpana Marjanam. Our minds are colluded and covered. Today we were talking about that example, right? The light is on and we are lying down with 5, 7 blankets on us. And from there we are making a cell phone call saying that I can't see, there is very dark in here. Just remove one blanket slowly and the light will be available. So here, Cheto Darpana Marjanam Bhavamaha Davagni will come later, I think, this slide. It will bathe you in the salubrious effect of immediately being in transcendental consciousness. So the first thing is people understand, maybe this is actually a drawback because people think, oh, this is easy, this is, like that. But actually it's such a powerful thing that Krishna is giving the solution desperately to us and we need to take this seriously.